Hi teachers, today I'm going to show you how to use Google Forms to create a quiz. First, I need to be in my Google Drive. I can get there by going to drive.google.com or by going to any Google page, clicking this waffle, and then going to Drive. So once I get there, I'm going to click on New. I'm going to have to go down and hover over More to get to Google Forms. I'm going to start out by giving my form a title. I'm going to click here and I'm going to call it Math Quiz. And then I need to name the document. If I click up here where it said Untitled, it'll automatically name it whatever I had written right here. Now I'm going to turn this into a quiz. To do that, I'm going to click on this little gear that says Settings. If you have this checked, then that means students have to sign in using their Google email, which is their ID number followed by @students.katyisd.org and then their password to sign in. If I don't want them to have to do that, I can uncheck that, and now they will not have to sign in order to take my quiz. Now I'm going to go over to Quizzes and turn on Make This a Quiz. Now I can decide when am I going to release the grade. I typically do immediately after each submission so that as soon as they submit the quiz, they can see what grade they got. You can also decide if you want to let them see what questions they missed, what questions they got correct, and the point value for each question. Once you've selected your options, click Save. For my very first question, I want that to be my student's name. So I'm going to type in name. You see that it automatically changed it from a multiple choice question to a short answer question. So Google Forms will predict what type of question you're asking once you type in the question. I do want this to be a required question, and I don't have an answer key. So I'm going to leave this blank, and it's going to be worth 0 points. It's just something I want them to fill out. To add another question, I click this plus sign, and maybe I want them to put what class they're in. It could be a drop-down menu, multiple choice, or they could do short answer where they type in their teacher. I'm going to do this right here where they're choosing whether they're in block 1, block 2, or block 3. This is a required question, but there's no right answer and it's worth 0 points. So now I'm ready to put in my first question. I'm going to click this plus sign and type in my question. I'm going to keep it simple and say, what is 2 plus 2? Now I can put in multiple options. Maybe my options are 2, 4, 2, 6, and 8. I'm going to leave this marked as required, so I want students to have to select an answer before they submit the quiz. And that way they don't accidentally hit submit while leaving some questions blank. Now I'm going to go to my answer key. I'm going to decide how many points I want this question to be worth. And then I need to choose the correct answer by clicking on it. Once I click on the correct answer, then it'll put a little check mark off to the side. If there's more than one correct answer, then I can select more than one option. So if students select either 4 or 6, then Google Forms will mark it as correct. If I select one and then decide that it's not the correct answer, all I have to do is click it and then it'll go away. Now I'm going to add another question. This time it'll be, what is 1 plus 2? but I want them to have to type in an answer. So I'm going to say short answer. So they'll have to type in the answer here. Here again, I can decide how many points I want it to be worth. And then I can write in some of the correct answers. So the student might type 3, or maybe they'll spell out 3. So those are the only 2 answers that I want to accept as being correct. And I'm going to have Google Forms mark all other answers as incorrect. I can see here what my correct answers are. And again, this is a required question. So you can keep going, adding more questions. Some other things that you can add is a title and description. You can put in an image. You can put in a video. And then this is to separate sections. So if you wanted to have 2 questions on one page and then have more questions on another page, sections will allow you to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it as is. If I click this little I, then I can preview what my form looks like. And I'm going to go ahead and do it as a sample student. I'm going to be Susie in block 1. 2 plus 2 is, I'm going to say 2. And 1 plus 2 is 3. And now I submit. So now it says that my response has been recorded. This is exactly what students will see. And then they can click here to view their score. So now Susie can see she got 5 out of 10 points correct. I can see that I got this question wrong, and it tells me what the correct answer is. And I got this question correct. Now, as a teacher, whenever I'm in the quiz, I can see here that there has been 1 response. When I click on that, I see a summary of all of the responses. Since I only have 1 so far, then I've got my median points here, average points, and then a range. I can see what questions were missed the most. I can see everyone who has submitted it. And then I can see some pie charts showing how students answered. I can also look at the responses by question. So here my first question was name, and I see all of the names that were submitted. As I move along, I can see class and all the classes that were submitted, but this is going to be the information that I want to see. So I go on to the question, what is 2 plus 2? And it will give me an overview of all of the answers to this question, so I can see if this is a question that I really need to go back and review. Another way of viewing the results is by individual. So this is going to show me each student's submission. So right now I'm looking at what Susie submitted. I can see how many points she got up here, and then what all of her answers were. If I had more than 1 student who submitted this, then I can click this arrow to go to the next response. You can also create a spreadsheet of all of the results. To do that, you're going to click this green icon, and that will create a Google Sheet. I'm going to create a new spreadsheet with the responses. And then it'll automatically open that up. So now I have a timestamp of when students submitted that quiz, the score that they got, who the student is, what class they're in, and then what their responses were. There are ways of sorting this. So if I wanted to see all of block 1, then I can click here on this arrow, and I can go to sort sheets A to Z, and then it'll sort all of the results with block 1 on top followed by block 2, and so on. I can also sort by score. I can sort by student name. And so that'll just give you a way of looking at information. So that was just a very quick overview of using Google Forms to create a quiz. If you need any help with this or have any questions, let me know. I would be happy to come and help.